very good evening. The show's called The Burning Question and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Would it be fair to say that today, ladies and gentlemen, is a red letter day? Why do we say this? This is because for the very third time, I think this is in the Parliament's history, that you have the ethics panel calling for the expulsion, and read my lips carefully, expulsion of a member of Parliament. It's happened today with Moitra. The case is very well known. You have seen the twists and turns in the entire case. We also remember those images of Moitra, who looked very, very hassled when she appeared before the ethics panel committee. She just storms out. She comes out and says that questions that were asked to me demeaned my own dignity. She also alleged that they violated my privacy. She said a lot of things. She's also said that they are not willing to listen to us because the report and everything that has come out today is a clear indictment of Moitra. Now on our screens, I'll just request our team to put out images that will help you remember those, graphic details of Moitra when she actually had stormed out of the ethics panel. When she was summoned for questioning. Now, what really are the charges so far? We are all well aware. The charge is that Moitra has, like other member of parliaments, has a login ID and a password. And she uses that and she shares that with a corporate who's sitting in Dubai. And what does that corporate gentleman do? He actually uses that login and password to log in to the parliament details there, and he puts out questions on behalf of Moitra. Now, it just happens that those are questions that are targeted against a corporate, and the idea, he alleges, is to hit out at the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, this is that image, iconic, that we all remember of Moitra, who actually had stormed out of the ethics panel. She said a lot of these questions were asked, Cheer Haran. That's in fact an adjective that was used by Danish Ali, who's also another opposition MP, who was a part of this entire meeting, and he said, Cheer Haran kiya gaya hai. The opposition continuously has been trying to build a case saying that Moitra is being targeted. Why? Because she took on the high and mighty. But then a lot has moved on that entire story. Now, on both sides, on the screens here, you're looking at questions and answers. This is just a highlight to tell you what really has happened so far. Now, what was the question by the chairman? The question by the chairman, one of the questions, in fact, it's a 500-page exhaustive report. One of the question reads that, did you speak to Darshan Hiranandani since October the 13th, 2023? And if yes, please elaborate how many times did you speak to Mr. Hiranandani? Simple, straightforward question. And the involvement of Mr. Darshan Hiranandani has been made very clear. He's turned an approver in the case. He's also put out an affidavit, and he's the same corporate who's sitting in Dubai right now, and the same corporate with whom Moitra has actually shared her login ID and password. And this is exactly why this question comes up. Look at the response, what Mahua said. That's again on your screens there in yellow as you read the text. She goes on to say, I have absolutely no compulsion within any committee, whether ethics or criminality, to disclose that. She's been largely evasive, is what a lot of members in the panel have underscored. The idea by the opposition was to tell us that the government is being vindictive. Moitra has been, one of those persons from the opposition who's directly taken on the government, and this is her payback time. She's being targeted only and only for that reason. And on our screens is just one excerpt, but in case you want to read through more transcripts that Republic has been able to access, all that is also always going up on republicworld.com. Do remember, our digital wing has broken that entire transcript for you, and like I said, it runs into a good 500 pages. I do have a lot of these details here, but during the course of this entire story, a lot of this will go up also on your screens. And then we'll want to find out, what will the TMC do? Will the TMC be willing to expel Moitra? Or they are okay with someone like a Moitra who can continue in their party? There are issues of national security getting involved here. And do remember, the committee has also spoken of a CBI probe that they want so that there is a direct investigation into an alleged money trail that possibly could be looked at. Now, this entire committee, by a majority, has put out this recommendation talking for the expulsion of Mahua Moitra. But another, interesting bit of this entire story is that one Congress MP, Praneeth Kaur, who actually voted in favor. That's the lady there that you see on your screens. She's the wife of Captain Amrinder Singh. She still continues to be in Congress, and she is the one who's also voted in favor of expulsion of Mahua Moitra. And clearly then questions can be asked that isn't that a huge embarrassment again for the INDI alliance that continues to say we are together, we are steadfast. They continue to say again and again that the Prime Minister, the government is being vindictive, Mahua Moitra is being targeted. But let's put out first up the entire story, the reactions we've got so far, and then we'll try to find out answers to that big question whether Mahua Moitra, remember, is going to be expelled from the TMC. Would there be a CBI probe, and how will the INDI alliance respond to that?
Embroiled in cash for query charge, this TMC MP faces expulsion. The Ethics Committee has recommended the expulsion of Mahua Moitra, pressing charges of serious misdemeanor. Panel has adopted report on Mahua.
देखिए, आज के मीटिंग का उद्देश्य केवल एक था, जो महुआ मोइत्रा पे अनैतिक आचरण का आरोप था, उसकी विस्तृत जांच जो कमेटी के द्वारा किया गया था, उसको विस्तृत रिपोर्ट और अपने प्रस्ताव के साथ उस रिपोर्ट को एडॉप्ट करने का एजेंडा था, और उस पर कमेटी द्वारा बैठा गया। रिपोर्ट को बहुमत के साथ एडॉप्ट किया गया। एडॉप्ट करने के बाद ये रिपोर्ट माननीय लोकसभा स्पीकर को प्रेषित की गई है।
6 MPs, which also included a Congress MP, voted in favor of expelling Mahua Moitra, while 4 others opted out of voting against the TMC MP.
Today adopted by the Ethics Committee panel. The meeting didn't go on for more than half an hour, just 30 minutes meeting. As soon as the members of the Ethics Committee arrived, they sat, they discussed on the draft report. They asked each and every members who all are in favor of the draft report. There were 6 MPs, majorly from the BJP party only, who were in favor of the draft report, while the leaders like Giridhari Yadav, Danish Ali, V. Vethlingam, Natraj, these 4 were against the draft report, and they were against the expulsion of Mahua Moitra.
The report will now be sent to the Lok Sabha Speaker, and Mahua could challenge the expulsion. However, the charges against Mahua Moitra are serious. Will she be expelled? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So it's a huge embarrassment, clearly, for the TMC. We'll have to wait and see how the TMC will respond. The TMC largely has wanted to distance themselves from Mahua Moitra, leaving her alone to defend herself. The Congress, interestingly today, through its MP, Praneeth Kaur, has voted in support of the expulsion of Mahua Moitra. Nikhil, that is an important reality for viewers today to know. As we say good evening to Charu Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP with us. Nikhil Jain is a political analyst. He leans towards the Congress. And it's good to have Monojit Mandal, who is a political analyst. He leans towards the TMC after a long time on the burning question. We are also trying to connect with Aprajita Sarangi, who is a member of this committee. And she's also an MP in the Lok Sabha from the BJP. Monojit, you're nodding your head. I do not know what that nod was for. But tell me something, do you believe that the TMC now should expel Mahua Moitra? The charges are grave enough?
No, I'm not appearing as a supporter of the party. I'm just merely appearing as an academic. I felt for the last 1 month that one lady, one woman who has been bold, courageous enough to speak to the men, the mighty and the high, she has been badly targeted, hounded for the last 1 month, first by the media and then by these agents of patriarchy, including, unfortunately, 2 women, and one you are naming. She might be with the Congress, but she is the wife of Amrinder Singh, and we all know the stand of Mr. Amrinder Singh, who is now with the BJP. So please do not bring in Congress here. I understand that the kind of manipulation that you are trying to hear, kind of maneuver that you are trying to have, but the Congress party is fully behind against the expulsion. They have voted committed. No.
I don't
Please,
want to talk over you.
I'll quit the debate.
It's important we listen to everyone, but please,
listen to me
before
first.
you
Listen
start
to me
judging
first.
everyone else, including the media, Monojit, you are embarrassed
we have
because
been doing
Praneeth
that.
Kaur, the Congress
What
MP
is the
today,
crime
has
that she has
voted
committed?
for the
What is the
expulsion
crime that
of
she has committed?
Mahua Moitra. It's evident.
You
are more embarrassed than Nikhil. The Congress has not even put out a statement. The Congress has not even asked his MP then to resign. There hasn't been any action. She could be the wife of Captain Amrinder Singh, but the fact is that there are huge problems in the IND alliance. And how do you know, Monojit? The Congress could well be wanting to not side with Mahua Moitra now. But tell me something, what about the TMC? Is the TMC with Mahua Moitra or not with her?
Your problem, why the good, sane people are stopping appearing on TV? Because you only lecture and you do not allow others to even speak. There lies the problem. I'm appearing merely as an academic to give you the sense of the anger that such women might be having. On the one hand, you are talking about women reservation bill, and on the other hand, you are expelling someone with flimsy charge without giving her any opportunity to cross-examine the person concerned. I mean, assuming that she shared the login ID with that person, is he a terrorist? Was there any breach of national security? What are you talking about? And did you bring this person into India and allow Mahua to cross-examine that person? What are you talking about? And again, point number 3. Was that person, Mr. Hiranandani, let me speak. When he was using this login ID, was he a child?
Yes,
was he a naked newborn babe? He did not know what he was doing. So he was also committing a crime. His Mahua has committed a crime. He was also committing a crime. Bring him into India. Allow Mahua to cross-examine her. Institute investigation against him as well. Because if there is any breach of trust and any breach of national security, then Mr. Hiranandani is also culpable equally. Why don't you call him in? What are you talking about? For the last 1 month, you have been seeing this. You have been hounding her out because you can't tolerate her attitude, because you can't tolerate her boldness. And on the other hand, there are other MPs like Ramesh Diduri who made derogatory comments about the parliamentarian.
I might not agree with the first point that you have made, but I agree with both the second and the third points. You can say that the way the entire investigation and the questioning has happened so far, and Charu, we are still waiting to be joined with Aparajita Sarangi, but till we have her, why don't you respond to that valid criticism that has been raised by Monojit? I was also going through the rules. Mahua Moitra was well within her rights to cross-examine Darshan Hiranandani. Why has that not been allowed? Why did that not happen?
Okay, I will come to your question, Deepthi, but let's backtrack a little bit, because let me respond to Manojit Mandal first. He thinks Mahua Moitra is one bold lady. Well, definitely, she's one bold lady who was bold enough to sell the faith of her constituents for a few scarves and bags. She was bold enough to understand that there is an email policy of the government of India, a very strict one, which on the first page itself says that your login ID and credentials for your official government email cannot be shared by anyone unless it is with prior approval and information. Yet, she was bold enough to give it to someone else. For her 15 seconds of fame, she was bold enough to jeopardize my nation's security because sensitive data was available on the internet with her login ID access. She was bold enough to then storm out of the ethics committee meeting, where she could have stayed and asked for her right to cross-examine Darshan Hiranandani. And I am not taking away from the crime of Darshan Hiranandani. What he has done, the police and the authorities will deal with him. I am here talking about not just
but Charu, the question is, without cross-examining him, he turns in a country. Does this mean that his crime is any less?
Yes.
You've passed a judgment on Mahua Moitra, but what about Darshan Hiranandani?
Nobody. No. Deepthi, now Deepthi, that is a different proceeding. Mahua Moitra's judgment is not pronounced by some court of law, or an FIR has not been lodged against her. This is a parliamentary proceeding which was done by a parliamentary ethics panel. Mahua has a problem, she can move the court. She can do what she wants. Let's stick to the facts here.
But the opposition alleges,
why is it
Charu, before I get Nikhil into the conversation, Charu, the opposition alleges you're running a kangaroo court.
Yes.
You're running a kangaroo court, they allege. They say because it has a majority of the ruling party MPs, you do not listen to the opposition. Right from the JDU, MP to the BSP MP, they've all said you do not listen to anyone. They've said कि Mahua Moitra का चीरहरण किया गया है. That's what they've said, verbatim.
अच्छा ठीक है. So let's break this down in very simple language for our viewers right now, Deepti. A majority in the parliament only is of Bharatiya Janata Party. Any committee in the parliament is made up of various members from different political parties. In the case of this particular ethics committee, 5 people stormed out. They could have stayed and voted in favor of Mahua. At the end, there were only 5 people who were voting against her, right? Why did these 5 storm out? Why did the Congress person choose to vote against Mahua instead of for her? So, I am sorry. Now, this is a very feeble excuse. They could have stuck together if they believed in Mahua. TMC itself does not believe in Mahua. Mamta Didi herself does not believe in Mahua. And you're clutching at straws. I think, Manojit ji, you should be given an award because your defense for Mahua is better than her own defense. Because in her interview to journalists, she is admitting quid pro quo. She is admitting to sharing login ID and password. She is admitting to taking gifts in return.
A glass of water. Let's get him into this conversation. I think there are questions that Nikhil will also have to respond before Charu and Manojit conclude their entire diatribes at each other. Wait, Charu, you also haven't answered my question. We'll get Manojit to counter what you have said in just a moment. But Nikhil,
they do not have
does the Congress support Mahua Moitra or they do not? And are you okay with the MP Praneeth Kaur voting for the expulsion of Mahua Moitra? I mean, hasn't there been embarrassment enough for the INDA alliance that you're even doing this?
She's now with the BJP.
She's still with the Congress.
That's the India alliance for you, Deepti.
No. Has she quit the Congress and joined the BJP? Manojit,
I wasn't interjecting. Please extend
Nikhil.
that courtesy to me. I wasn't interjecting.
Nikhil, yes.
That courtesy to me.
No, I
And
won't.
Deepti, I hope I'm allowed to
Nikhil,
speak for
please
2 minutes
continue.
without any interjections. First of all, my glasses of water are not like 2007 Chief Minister's glass of water. I've been on Republic long enough for you all to know that. Secondly, so far as Praneeth Kaur voting against Mahua Moitra is concerned, more than a Congress member of Parliament, I'm going to see her as somebody who is the wife of a person who's been with the party like the Congress for 50 years and then just moves on to the BJP. Thirdly, I feel that the Congress is in support of Mahua Moitra because what has been done with her was done to the leader of the Congress party not so long ago. And just give me a minute to explain the chronology of things. So there is a certain business conglomerate in India that deals with the genocidal Myanmarese army. In January this year, a report comes out that says that this business conglomerate is fooling the people of India and is engaging in a scam against the shareholders in India. A leader of one party speaks against this man in the parliament, and then suddenly a case that was stayed by a BJP member in Gujarat is reopened again, and a 168-page Gujarati court order comes in, which is completely unreasoned, as said by the Supreme Court, and this person is given maximum sentence and disqualified, maximum sentence in a defamation case, and subsequently disqualified by the Speaker without much ado. 6 months later, that person is reinstated into the parliament. Then what happens? The same business conglomerate, a report comes out that says that these people have been duping Indian electricity consumers by 12,000 crore rupees by increasing the price of coal that they're importing and giving more money. And what happens?
That you are not willing to name, Nikhil, is doing business with your sitting chief ministers in Rajasthan, with the sitting chief minister in West Bengal, and in a number of other states. So I don't even want to go there. That's not the debate. And why are you citing history to defend what Praneeth Kaur has done today? But come back to the point. Come back to the point, Nikhil. Do not digress, please. We have limited time.
Let me just complete. As soon as that coal scam report comes out,
Nikhil first will complete. Charu, I'll give you the last one. Charu, I'll give you the last one. Nikhil
first. An ex-boyfriend. Charu, just half a minute.
Okay.
An ex-boyfriend of yours.
What does an ex-boyfriend have to do with someone wanting to share their parliament login and ID? Nikhil, you are a lawyer. You are a lawyer. Do you understand the import of a member of parliament sharing their login ID and password with someone who's sitting in Dubai? You're aware of cyber attacks. You know how that login ID could be used to, perhaps get a lot of other details that are not in public domain already. Something like an insider trading.
Let me leave aside the political rhetoric and let me straight away get to the legal point at question here. Mahua Moitra was not given an opportunity to cross-examine the person who's made the allegations against her. Two people have supposedly engaged in corruption. One is very comfortably sitting in Dubai. The other person stands to lose their membership. There was no investigation by any investigative agency. There was no trial by any judicial authority, and yet somebody is going to lose their member of parliament. What this person, Mahua Moitra, has done wrong, and I have no qualms admitting that she has shared her login ID and password with an external person, which she should not have had done. But the ethics panel or nobody from the BJP has been able to
Nikhil, just tell me, is it okay for a member of parliament who's well versed of the laws, of the legality, the implications of sharing a login ID and password with another business conglomerate who stays in Dubai? Is that okay?
Deepti, her sharing the ID password with a personal friend of hers was wrong, but is it wrong enough to disqualify her from the parliament? That is a question that the country needs to see. Because
so you agree that there has been, you agree that this does not go with the demeanor of a member of parliament. But Mahua Moitra hasn't accepted that. The TMC hasn't accepted that.
Expulsion,
that's exactly why I think that Praneeth Kaur has voted for the expulsion of Mahua Moitra.
If I break a red light, should I be hanged for it?
Perhaps that is the logic that Praneeth Kaur has also used to vote in favor of this. Quickly, Monajit, 10 seconds.
That Mahua has committed, perhaps Mahua has chosen a jilted idiot and a castrated male. Because this is patriarchy speaking and nothing else.
What is stopping Mamata Banerjee from expelling her from the party?
And a castrated male. I repeat, Mr. Hiranandani, was he a naked newborn babe? He did not know what he was doing? And you are not even calling him into
Let's please mind our language. Let's please mind our language. Please. Let's please mind our language, Monajit. Please, I'm requesting you.
This is absolutely acceptable in patriarchal discourse.
Then you don't do this on this channel, please. This doesn't happen on this channel, Charu.
Through you.
Charu. This is exactly the problem. No, you don't have a problem with the Nitish Kumar. You don't have a problem with the Nitish Kumar saying what he has said in the assembly about women. So do not sit here and lecture me and tell me about women rights, women empowerment and a lot of other things, okay? So you cannot be saying that Mahua Moitra is a lady and that's why you will play the victim card again and again. Because this is hypocrisy, no, Monaji?
No, nobody is playing
the entire IND alliance remains quiet when Nitish Kumar is saying what he has said in the assembly. So do not link the two. Do not link the two. This exposes the hypocrisy of leaders like Mamata Banerjee, leaders like Sonia Gandhi.
Show me the proof of money trail. Now it is come down only to sharing the login ID and password.
That is exactly why a CBI probe has been called for, no? That's exactly the CBI's job. The committee has recommended a CBI probe exactly for this. Charu, I'll give you the last word. Charu, there is so much of trust deficit right now between the Treasury and the opposition benches. The opposition is not willing to listen to you. They say you are targeting them again and again. Anyone who stands up, who criticizes the government is being targeted. Charu. No one is muzzling anyone's voice, please. You've spoken what you had to say, Charu.
Nobody... No, he's not spoken. He screamed what he wanted to scream and not making any sense at that. But let's let that be, Deepti. Now, this is not about trust deficit. You don't want to believe anybody who comes from the Treasury bench. Fine, no problem. You believe Mahua Moitra, right? You believe her when she says, yes, I did share my login ID and password. Brazenly says that. She also brazenly says, yes, I did receive gifts. So brazen about it. And I'm sorry, your stand about women and women empowerment is like your pseudo stand for secularism, because it did not exist yesterday for Nitish Kumar. Today you want to cry out for Mahua Moitra and cry the victim card and
is
say,
the BJP being vindictive or the opposition really has a case? Darshan Nandani has not been allowed to be cross-examined by Mahua Moitra. What will the TMC do next? I think there are multiple questions. This is just the opening of a Pandora's box. We'll closely track that story. Only for word of time, Monajit, Nikhil and Charu, thank you so much for your time as we'll closely track that story and all developments. Let's quickly get you